There's nothing left to say now, so I'll be on my way now, and I'll be moving way out, way out, way out of your way.
Good morning to you all. It's Sunday morning and we are 4 days after my jaw surgery, and today I woke up inspired to talk about healing. I want to talk about how I have found the best way for me to heal, and how healing is a process that we should embrace. I know for many people who are going through injuries or post-surgery times, it's sometimes very hard to accept this. It's very often a very frustrating time. The thing with me is I found that when I get into this healing mode, I connect on a very, very deep level with myself and my body on a way that normally I'm not able to do. So right now, I just want to give you guys a few tips on how to heal better. And these are all just things that I have basically figured out myself by doing them myself. So the first thing I want to say is, obviously, when you're healing, essentially what you're doing is you are forcing your body to very rapidly recreate and reproduce new cells, because your body is constantly creating these crusts on the wounds to stop the bleeding, to get your body in balance and in sync again. Now, where do you think that these new cells are coming from? Where do you think they get the building blocks to create this new skin tissue, to create this new jaw, to create this new bone? Your body is getting these building blocks directly from what you are putting into your body. So what I like to do when I'm in a healing phase is I drastically change my diet, and I tend to go super organic, meaning that I eat a ton of fruits and non-processed foods. A lot of soup, and I mean a lot of soup, like 4 bowls a day, and anything that is as close to nature as it can possibly be. So even meat I tend to cut back on, and I tend to go higher in fish, partly because it's softer for me to chew with my jaw, but also because I feel like red meat and meat in general isn't necessarily the best way to go when you're trying to heal. So what the doctors did in my last surgery was insert bone from my thigh right here and put it in the hole that was created here, so to fix the entire bone, because right now there was no longer a connection. There was a 5mm hole. So right now this new bone is trying to find its way. It's trying to find a way to connect on both sides to the bone here and the bone here. And I envisioned that. I envisioned this piece of bone floating in between these two ends, trying to connect. And I think about that. And I know this may sound super out there, but I believe that if you mentally focus on what needs to be done, and what needs to be done in my case is this connection needs to be established on both parts. I believe that if you mentally focus on this, and if you are aware of this and keep this as a goal in your mind, you are directing the body to function in that way. The mind and the body are completely intertwined, guys. And the deeper you get into this thing, and the more that you practice it, the more I feel like you're able to consciously develop this mind-body connection. And one of the things that I found was that in the morning, after I've had 10 hours of sleep, because right now I'm sleeping 10 hours a night, I cannot stress enough how important it is. When you're physically healing, you need to sleep at least 9 hours a night, at least, and preferably more. So me right now, I'm sleeping 10 hours a night, because when your body is in that state of complete and utter relaxation, horizontally laying down, you're not talking, you're not chewing, you're not moving, that's when you're healing the best. So after these 10 hours, I wake up and I always feel the least amount of pain. In the beginning, I feel a little bit of discomfort, because the first time that I yawn or I say a few words, I have to destroy a few cells, a few crusts that have been established over those 10 hours, if you're following my train of thought. All these little cells, all of these little, new tissues are building all night long. But then when I wake up and I go, I've already destroyed thousands microcells. But that's okay, because they're not supposed to inhibit your speech or inhibit, the function of your face or your mouth. The point I'm trying to make is, at the end of the day, I always find that I am utterly exhausted. I've been talking and eating all day, and everything hurts. Everything is pain. The cells are tired. The body can no longer keep up with constantly regenerating new cells. So every night, I go to bed exhausted and in pain, very fatigued, but that's a good thing, because you cannot expect to heal if you're not pushing your body to a certain extent. Also, what I like to stress is the absolute need for physical activity. I always felt like the best way and the fastest way to heal is by doing physical activity, which in my case is going to the gym and lifting weights. Because that way, when I'm lifting weights, I am stimulating the entire... I'm literally turning my entire body into this regenerating machine. I'm breaking down muscle tissue by training my arms, right? So I'm doing bicep curls, I'm doing bench presses, I'm breaking down muscle tissue. So what's gonna happen is my body is gonna get this little alarm like, oh man, we need to work harder, we need to regenerate more, because we also have to regenerate the biceps, we also have to regenerate the pecs, right? Therefore, it will divert more energy and more attention to its reproductive process. It's all about reproducing cells. And by doing this, by doing physical activity in the midst of the healing process, you're gonna be way more exhausted than you normally would be at the end of the day. You're gonna be way more tired, and it's gonna be more uncomfortable. But the good part is you can really and vastly speed up the recovery process. You have to look at the body like a city council, and they have a certain budget, right? So they're constantly deciding, and this is a metaphor obviously, what to spend more money on, what to spend more budget on. So imagine a city council and the crime rate is going up in the city, right? So then they're gonna divert more budget to crime prevention, to police. It's the same thing with the body. When your internal city council feels that your body is under attack, like we're getting hit in the pecs, we're getting hit in the shoulders, we're getting hit in the arms, but we also got this major issue going on in the face, which has been there, right from the very start. We have to do better, because otherwise we're not gonna survive. Because that's how the body functions. The body's constantly trying to survive. The body's constantly trying to stay alive. That's its only goal. It's pure instinct. So you're tapping into something way deeper than strictly, your thoughts and feelings. You're tapping into your primal need for survival. So your body is going to work harder. Obviously, it's also going to make you more tired, because, more action, more activity, more functionality requires more energy, so therefore at the end of the day, you're gonna be more tired. But then again, this is why I'm saying you need at least 10 hours of sleep, because you cannot expect to do this if you're not getting a massive amount of sleep. So I'm pushing myself, I'm going to the gym, and I'm forcing this regenerative process to speed up. The first couple of days are the hardest days because your body's not really ready yet, and it hasn't really assigned that new budget, that new energy to crime prevention or, you know, healing. And that's why you have to force it that way. The same way with fitness. You're not gonna grow if you're lifting the same weights every time. You're only gonna grow if you're making your muscle and your body uncomfortable, giving it a reason to adapt. Like, you're only gonna get a bigger arm if your body feels like you have to get a bigger arm, because otherwise you can't keep up with the workload that you're constantly moving. So every single morning I feel a little bit better and a little bit stronger, and I feel that all of these new building blocks have been attached and have been created over the 10-hour night, right? So my scar and my tissue is getting better and better, and then I'm gonna hit it harder again. Every day I'm gonna add a few percentages to the workload, so it's constantly gonna get better. And this is the time to do it, because if you don't do it when the healing process is taking place, when, you know, it's gonna be too late afterwards. This is the time that you define the strength of this new tissue. This is the time that you decide the quality of this new tissue, of these new cells. If you're just gonna lay down all day and wait for it to get better, you're gonna regenerate, you're gonna get better, but it's not gonna have the same quality tissue as if it would if you were actively recovering. So right now, I'm creating the best possible tissue that my body is able to produce. This is the champagne of my body that is forming right in front of you right here. So it's gonna last me way longer than it normally would. This car is gonna be premium tissue. So when I'm 90 years old, even though, you know, obviously I'm gonna have a deformed, defect jaw, it's still gonna be strong as hell. Maybe even stronger than it initially would have been. The same way that if people would stop wearing shoes, right? If we would all start walking around with no shoes all day, the way that we used to do when we were, you know, way back like 1,000 years ago, over time the body will adapt. You will form these soles on the bottom of your foot, right? Of this very thick skin, and it would literally create a human shoe made of very thick skin. That's the entire principle that I'm trying to tell you guys. When you're going through a healing process, connect with your inner self. Make the healing a goal in itself. Envision it. Envision those cells scrambling together as if they were trying to build a dam to stop the flood. Envision it in many different ways, in as many different ways as you can, because that's constantly what I'm doing. Because that stuff works, man. It really, really works. And I'm not a doctor and I'm not a scientist, but I've been through so many surgeries and I've been cut open so many times. I'm speaking to you from sheer experience, and I don't, you know, this is just how I look at it, and it has always worked for me time and time again. And my doctors have always been extremely amazed when they saw how quickly I healed, how quickly I regenerated. I have always been ahead of the curve, every single time, over and over again. I have never been the norm. And, you know, they ask me like, what do you do? What do you eat? And I'm just like, man, a lot of sleep, a lot of gym, and good non-processed food, a lot of fruits, a lot of soup. I mean, right now, guys, I'm bleeding muscle. I'm losing so much weight. I'm down to 84 kgs. Look how skinny I am. This is 84 kilograms, guys. I haven't weighed 84 since, I don't know since when, but normally I'm 89. And you guys know I'm never fat, or I never have a lot of, you know, like redundant mass. So those 5 kilos, that's a lot of muscle that has disappeared. But right now, muscle is not the goal. I'm not hitting the gym right now to get bigger muscle. I'm hitting the gym for one sole purpose: a more efficient and durable regeneration of this tissue. Alright, so I hope I have explained in depth exactly what I'm talking about. I hope I haven't repeated myself too many times, but that's the main principle that I always keep in the back of my mind. So, thank you guys for watching. Please leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. I would love to hear your feedback and opinions. Leave a thumbs up if you like the video. Share this video, man. Share this video for the people that need to hear this. Now, obviously, I'm making this video in the morning, and now you guys might think I'm doing so well. This is the highest that my energy will be throughout the entire day. Like, after this, I'm only gonna go down, down, down. If you see me later on, you'll see that I'll be exhausted and drained and ready for bed. Every night when I get to my bed, I am dead, I'm exhausted, but I know that I've done a good job for that day. You need to be the same way a battery charges the best way, being completely empty. Your body will recharge and regenerate the best way if your body's completely empty. So please, active recovery, active healing is the way to go. That's it, guys. That's the video. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all. I'm going to enjoy my Sunday now, and I'll be back real soon with more updates and more videos. As always, it's your boy Denzo, checking out.